here's my new video. So please do like and subscribe to my channel and also click the alert button so you can see whenever I do add any new videos. Thank you for watching and enjoy. Hello and welcome to my Believe to Succeed interviews. This is interview number 4, and this is with the amazing Steve Aitchison, who I've actually been following for many years, probably about 7 years, particularly on Facebook. And he's just been a massive inspiration to me. So I'm just so pleased that you've joined me. So thank you so much for this, Steve.
Oh, it's a pleasure, Lizzie. Thank you very much for having me. Thanks for asking me and reaching out to me.
No worries at all. So could you just give it, for people that might not know about you, could you give a bit of an introduction to yourself, who you are, a bit of your background and what you do?
My name's Steven Aitchison. I'm currently, I've had many careers, but I'm currently an author. Just now I write fiction and non-fiction. Started out non-fiction, then I kind of changed over to fiction. So that's what I'm doing just now. Before that, I had a personal development blog. I've still got it, which has been running for the past 15 years. I think it was at one point one of the biggest in the world, or in the UK certainly, and it's still going just now. So I run that. I kind of started this journey really kind of way back, very briefly. I'll give you the very kind of brief rundown. So I really didn't believe in myself. I really thought I was thick as mince. I just thought that I wasn't intelligent at all. That was one of my huge beliefs up until the age of about 15, 16. There's a story behind that, but long story short, at the age of 15, 16, I just passed a history exam, which I loved doing, and I got an A in my kind of O grades. We called it O grades back then in Scotland. And I passed it, and I was walking down the road back home from school, and I thought, if I've got an A in my history, that must mean that I'm not thick. I must have some sort of intelligence. And it was a light bulb moment. It was like, holy shit, I've been telling myself all these years since I was 5 years old that I'm thick and I'm not intelligent, and it affected every area of my life, my social life, my confidence in myself, going kind of asking girls out and stuff like that. It was a nightmare. And then after that, I just turned around. I just had more confidence just with that one belief. And from then I've had kind of a real deep interest in the mind and how the mind works. Mm-hmm. So much so that I went to university and studied psychology, got my psychology degree. And I just kind of been on my own journey from there and helping other people, doing kind of life coaching, teaching, personal development, teaching, social media as well. I've done that. Love teaching. And this is where I kind of came up to the book and wrote the belief principle. But it stemmed from there.
That's amazing. I mean, I love your book. I've got your book here.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, so I actually bought this on the Kindle edition a while back, but I thought it's one of those that I've loved that much. I've had to buy it as well, and it's one that I do recommend to a lot of people. So this is one of the big things that sort of changed my own beliefs in myself, and I've been putting into practice a few of the principles that you've put in there and some of the techniques that you've given, particularly around affirmations. And for anyone that follows my Instagram, they'll know that every single morning I post a little post, sometimes a quote, but I will always put my daily affirmations on, what I've sort of shouted to myself in the mirror that day. So that's one of the big things that I've really taken away from that. So obviously you've really inspired me, and I know you've inspired like thousands, millions of people. I know you've got over 3.7 million followers on Facebook. So is there any one particular person that stands out to you that you've been able to help? Have you got a story about someone that you've helped in the past?
There's a couple of stories. I should save these and I don't. And it's not for any reason, because I don't want to sound vain or anything, but there's a couple that have said that they kind of love the quotes on Facebook, and they've really helped in that it saved them from committing suicide. One of the people, it was a kind of an older woman, and she said, honestly, you wouldn't believe how much it helped me. She said, I used to watch your, because I used to do live shows as well every day. I watched your live shows kind of every single day. I kind of listened to you on the live and watched your, kind of read the quotes that you put out as well. And she said it really did save me from suicide, and it really gave me a purpose in life, and so much so that she's now a nurse. She's developed that kind of belief within herself that she didn't have before, and I think, without giving too much away, there was abuse kind of there as well, and she was now a nurse, which was brilliant to hear. It's amazing. I don't think it was me. I'm just kind of a catalyst, just like a wee switch that flips within them. And I think that's what happens. And I think people kind of underestimate the power of kind of quotes and affirmations, really do, because we're telling ourselves these affirmations every single day of our life, but mostly it's negative affirmations. Like, I'm no use, I'm too big, I'm too ugly, I'm too fat. That's an affirmation. And people tell themselves that all day, and that's what she was kind of doing. So that's one thing that sticks out, because that's a big thing kind of for me, just that kind of suicide kind of prevention as well.
I mean, mine wasn't as sort of extreme as that, but the quotes in particular for me on Facebook was something that really helped me. And that's where I sort of came across you. Like I say, it was about 7 years ago. And I was actually looking through, when you'd said yes to doing this interview for me, I was just having a look through, and I found one of the quotes that you'd posted that I reshared back in 2016, which was a place where I was at one of my lowest. And it was a quote about how when you put yourself in, like, when you look back on this moment, you'll thank yourself for sort of carrying on. And I thank myself every single day for carrying on from where I was back then. And the fact that I shared your quote back then, it just really touched me after, like I say, after you'd agreed to do this with me. So
that's amazing
for that. So as well, if I go back to the book, at the beginning of the book, and also you said last week when we spoke, that it's something that you've wanted to sort of get out there for so long, and it's also you wanted to create a book that became timeless, that like people in hundreds of years to come would be able to benefit from that. So what was your driving force? Because that is such a big thing, and I found that really amazing. So what was your driving force behind that?
Do you know what it was? I've read, and I don't know if you've read them, Lizzie, I've read loads of books, but have you heard of Neville Goddard and the old the thought leaders from yesteryear, from the 1900s? I've read loads of kind of books like them, Napoleon Hill, kind of Neville Goddard's the biggest one. And his books, they're timeless. You could read his books. I mean, I'm reading them 100 years later, and they're still there's a bit kind of too much religion in it, but if you can get past that, my mind kind of skips over it, and that's fine. You just kind of replace it with kind of the universe or something. So that's what I do. So I thought, if I could create something like that and it'd still be relevant in, say, 50 years time or 100 years time, that would be a legacy that'd be a good legacy to leave. And even if nobody reads it, and I know people have read it, if nobody kind of read it, if somebody picked up by accident, which I've done with loads of books, and I think with books, if somebody recommends a book, always buy it, because there's a reason they recommended it at that particular time. And it's like, if you find a book or you come across a book, then pick up and read it. Like, I've done that so many times, it's changed my life so many times as well. So if I could do that and somebody finds my book on a bus that somebody else has discarded and it changes their life, that thought, it's just brilliant. It's just brilliant to have.
Well, you know firsthand that this has actually changed my life. So thank you for that. So you've succeeded in at least one, which I know you've succeeded in more than that. So.
My job here is done.
Your job is you've helped Lizzie in Leyland. So who has been your biggest inspiration in your life?
It's usually from business people. I read lots of different business books. I like Jeff Bezos. I love kind of the Everything Store, the kind of books. I'm big into books, as you can see as well. But people who have managed to turn the life around. And generally what happens is people that have kind of tried, they failed, and they keep on going. It's that resilience to keep on going. It's that kind of determination to keep on going. And I love stories like that. There's a guy on the internet called Eben Pagan. I loved kind of watching him. And who else was it? I can see him in front of me. I can't think of his name, but I can see him just now. He's as big, because I was big into the internet then as well. Still am, obviously. But people like that really, really inspire me. People that have really come from nothing. They've kind of been knocked so many times, but they've kept on going. And that really does inspire me.
Yeah, I think one of the quotes that I really like about that is, what is it? A winner is just someone that failed one more time. Going. It's so true. So obviously the series of these interviews that I'm doing all around believing in yourself, and that's what your book is about, and it's changing that inner beliefs. And and actually how easy it is to change your beliefs if you just keep going at it. Because it is something that you need to do consistently, isn't it? You can't just say one day I'm going to do this and then like that will change. You need to keep working on it.
If you imagine how your beliefs are formed, if you imagine that the beliefs you have just now, this very moment in your life just now, those beliefs have been formed over years. So you're never going to change overnight. And a lot of the beliefs, the negative beliefs in particular, they're not even your beliefs. They've been passed down from generation to generation. So your whole beliefs, when you understand this, it kind of blows your mind. When you hold beliefs that they're not even yours, they've been passed down. So your parents or your caregivers have these beliefs that pass them down to you. Their caregivers have passed them down. So some of your beliefs are hundreds of years old, particularly around about money and self-worth. And I have to say, in particular, women as well, because of societal kind of restraints that kind of men, the patriarchal in society, there's been a lot of restraints on women. So that's just coming out just now, particularly for women as well. And that belief system is more important now more than ever for young girls, as well as for young men, because there's just so much happening in young people's lives just now. So if you imagine that you've developed your beliefs over years and years, then you can't change overnight. But the thing is, once you become aware of the fact that you can change your belief, because a lot of people think, they don't even think about it. It's not even within the realms of possibility, or even the concept of changing a belief. Nobody even thinks about it. But once you become aware, you go, oh shit, you can pick and choose. It's like going to Amazon saying, I'll have that belief, I'll have that belief, I'll have that belief. And you just go, oh, this is going to be brilliant. And you just work on one belief at a time, because your beliefs grow branches. So you've got kind of root beliefs, you've got kind of solid beliefs that grow branches. So the more beliefs you have, positive beliefs, the more positive other beliefs that are going to happen in your life as well. It's a whole big kind of network of beliefs that we've got in our minds just now, and changing one belief can literally change your whole life, which is the beautiful thing about it.
Yeah, I think that's the one that really sticks out for me. And you cover it in your book as well. But another author that I love is Marissa Peer, who wrote the I Am Enough, and that I Am Enough is so powerful and a key changer for me. And I really liked what you spoke about as well with the belief tree. And you've covered a bit of that there, where you do have those root beliefs, and sort of you've got to sort of really work on those root ones to be able to change those. But there are some like leaf beliefs that you can probably switch quite quickly. So it's just, I find it really fascinating how powerful the mind actually is.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you look at it, because sometimes when you read something, and I hope the book kind of does that as well, people go, oh shit, and just kind of there's a wee light bulb moment goes off when they're reading it. And then that wee light bulb moment kind of leads on to other light bulb, because it takes you on another path, another journey. Just the same with you, you're on a journey just now in kind of business, as well as your personal life. But in business, you're going on a path, and it's just brilliant to see that path lighting up along the way with all these little ideas and kind of thoughts and light bulbs that go off. That's the beauty of life.
Definitely. No, I completely agree. And it's amazing actually being on this journey and seeing people like yourself that have gone from having such negative beliefs about yourself to be able to turn it around. And it's just nice to know that there are a lot of people out there that have been able to switch it up so much. So another question that I want to ask you is, if there is someone out there at the moment that thinks maybe this is all a bit complete, like crazy, like hippie. My husband sometimes calls it my hippie shit, because I'm writing my affirmations down and my gratitudes and intentions. And what would you say to someone that has got such a negative belief around being able to sort of change your mindset and change your life?
Well, I think with that, and obviously we come across those types of people all the time, and they're like that for a reason. It's probably because we've knocked down. We have to understand it from their point of view as well, because we were like that at one point as well. Most of us. So I would say to a person, listen, just say to yourself, just try this for 30 days. That's it. After 30 days, you just say, okay, it's a load of rubbish. It's absolute bullshit. I'm not going to do it anymore, but I'm going to give it 30 days. And just pick one belief. It's good if you picked a kind of root belief, a really kind of core belief. Like, for example, if you don't believe you're intelligent, work on that one belief for 30 days. And that's it. I tell you how to do that kind of in the book as well. But if you work on that one belief, you will see the difference literally after 30 days. And if somebody would do that and kind of persevere for the 30 days and not just play lip service to it, just say, oh, I kind of tried, it didn't work, but really do it and kind of work on it. And we're talking 10, 15 minutes per day. That's it. Then you realize how much your whole life could change, because after 30 days, your whole thinking is different because of neuroplasticity. I didn't talk about this in the book. I didn't want to get too deep, but when you start to kind of have kind of more positive thoughts about yourself and more positive beliefs, neuroplasticity kind of dictates you're going to have different kind of thoughts in your mind in general about kind of positivity and being positive, and it starts to affect your other little beliefs as well. And you literally start to see the world, and I mean literally, you start to see the world differently, because everything that you see just now in your world, in your life, from money to boyfriends to girlfriends to jobs to career to houses, is seen through a belief filter. We all have a filter that we see the world through, and it's all through our beliefs. Now, when you change that belief filter, the world changes. So your world literally changes if you can change one belief. And when I try and explain that, I get really excited about it. I'm trying to explain that.
You can tell.
Because you can see, it's just like you could literally change, but somebody has to come to you and want to change. That's the thing. You can't tell anybody, but when they're ready, that's when it kind of blows their mind.
Oh, thank you for that. So one, I'm not going to sort of keep you too long, because I know you're really busy, but one thing that I did want to sort of ask you about is around you sort of your fiction writing as well. Because obviously I know we're talking a lot about like the belief principle, but how did you go from like thinking I'm really thick to becoming this author that's written so many fiction books? And like what made you think I'm going to be an author?
Well, the plan was, I said to myself, because I can write non-fiction. I've been writing non-fiction for 15 years on the blog. So I know I can do that, but it was practice. That was a belief in and of itself, just to try and say, oh, I could write a blog post. I could do that. And it's sticking to the rudiments. You've got a kind of headline, you've got kind of first paragraph, middle paragraph, you've got subheadings and stuff like that. So sticking to the rudiments, and then you just start to believe. But the fiction book, it was always a dream of mine when I was younger. So I worked on that particular belief. I can write a book. That was it. I can write a book. I can write a book. And then I went to, I'm going to write a book. Then say, I've started a book. And then you kind of go from, you're not very good at writing books, but I'm going to persevere, keep on going. But within that one belief, I can write a book. It's not just one belief. There's lots of different beliefs. Like, I've not got the time to do it. I've not got the intelligence to do it. I've not got the patience to do it. I've not got the kind of creativity to do that. So it's never just one belief that you're working on. There's other beliefs as well. So once you sit down and write and create even one chapter, that fuels that belief, and it changes the other kind of branch beliefs, if you will, and it just goes from there. And you just keep telling yourself day after day, I'm going to do it. It doesn't matter if it's absolutely rubbish. You can say at the end of it,
you wrote a book.
I've written a book. And it's a fiction book, and I'm going to keep on writing more, and I'm going to do another 8 books in this series. And I have to work on that belief as well, because I don't know. I keep saying to myself, is it good enough? Are people going to want to read another 8 books in this series? But I'll keep on working. I'll just keep on going.
Good on you. So where I started from following you, like I mentioned before, was through Facebook, and a lot of it was down to your quotes. What is your favourite quote?
Put
you on the spot.
Yes, you have put me on the spot. I think it is, love is the currency of your heart. Be careful who you give it out to.
I like it.
I think what's along those lines is that's my favourite quote that I've written over the years. It's the one that I've liked to share the most as well, and it's the one that's been most shared. I think I've written about 600 or 700 kind of quotes for that. I like that. That kind of stands out all the time.
That's really good. So that's all the questions that I've got today, and I just want to again thank you so much for your time, and thank you for this book. Like I say, it's been a massive game changer for me. So for anybody that is watching, I bought this book on Amazon. I bought it through the Kindle first, but you can also buy the paper copy. Is there anywhere else that you can get the book through, or is it mainly Amazon?
No, it's mainly Amazon. That's the best place to get it.
Yeah. So everyone buy it. So thank you so much for that, and thank you again for your time. And I love to continue watching everything that you're doing, because I think you're fascinating. So yeah, thank you very much.
Lizzie, thank you very much for having me on. A real pleasure. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye.